Get ready for the side-splitting journey into the world of uproarious animal antics. From overblown poses to perfectly timed theatrics, these creatures have honed the art of being delightfully extra. Join us in exploring their award-worthy funny side in this captivating compilation of amusement and laughter. Here are the most overdramatic animals who deserve an Oscar. The fainting goats. Fainting goats have and play dead when disturbed. The act depends on whether the animal preying on the hognose snakes are smart enough to recognize the death-feigning act. As the predators get close, the hognose snakes exhibit symptoms of disease or poisoning to impress on the attacker that there's something very wrong and possibly dangerous in consuming a snake that's dying. Based on North American studies, hognose snakes are notorious toad eaters. Maybe they have a way to store some chemicals from their meals, which can kill the predator that calls their act a bluff. If predators can smell or detect the presence of toad toxins coming off the snakes, this becomes a successful deterrent. The South American tricolor hognose snake does not feign death, but seems to rely on its bright warning colors to ward off predators. It, however, spreads a small hood and moves spatially as part of its defense. This behavior is especially among the juveniles. World's most shocked owl. An owl and its hilarious facial expressions have gone viral after thousands of people tuned in to watch this overdramatic animal. The bird, named Nellie, was making an appearance on an Australian news and current affairs show, The Project, when its eyes caused an internet meltdown. Hilariously, the presenter had just described the owl as calm when it suddenly turned towards the camera with its unbelievably wide eyes. One viewer wrote, "Yeah, she definitely looks calm," while another joked, "Dude, that wasn't decaf." The video was uploaded to YouTube and chalked up more than 177,600 views in the first day. Just to let you know, owls cannot move their eyeballs. That's because owls don't have eyeballs at all. Instead, their eyes are shaped like tubes, held rigidly in place by bones called sclerotic rings. Creepy. Stoffel, the escape artist. Stoffel the honey badger was raised by a farmer and grew up to cause chaos in the house. There were females of his species who eventually went back to the wild, but Stoffel stayed because humans had impressed him as such easy targets. He wreaked havoc in the rehab center, killing small bucks, rabbits, and even an adult tawny eagle. He also visited the local lodge where animal control received frantic calls for help, as Stoffel chased the kitchen staff out, taking over as he helped himself to the tasty food. In another incident, he visited guest rooms, tearing open handbags to get to what was inside. One time, he broke out of the camp to fight with lions and ended up in the hospital clinic for 2 months. He was then put back in his camp and immediately tried to get back at the lions. In the end, Moholoholo, the camp, was sponsored by Rotary Club to build Stoffel a brick house. Still, after only a few hours in his new home, he escaped again with staff trying different tactics to prevent his escape. Special group of lyrebirds that have a different dialect in the New England Highlands, and it is called the flute dialect. But a study found that the song is their very own, an incredibly complex whistle song. It sounds different in every region, but the one in the New England Highlands is particularly stunning. Chicks don't come out of the egg with full repertoires. They learn it very slowly over time by listening and copying the adults. Lyrebirds, like other songbirds, learn their vocalizations. So it's a culturally transmitted trait. That means a particular variance of their songs is passed down, not just from parent to offspring like a genetically inherited trait, but also to siblings and unrelated individuals across multiple generations. After a lyrebird was introduced to Tasmania in the early 1900s, it took decades for the birds to cease copying the sounds of mainland birds. Are you loving this video? Hit the like button, then stay tuned, 'cause we got more. Monkey opera. Researchers studied 636 recordings of vocalizations from 39 adult indris, a type of lemur dwelling deep in the rainforests of Madagascar. They found that lemurs could sing with categorical rhythm, meaning different rhythm patterns, similar to humans. These animals are a popular subject for many researchers because of their extraordinary history and biological diversity. This is, according to the Duke Lemur Center, a non-invasive research center dedicated solely to studying lemurs. The new study could shed light on the origins of musical rhythm and why it was developed. Researchers hope to study animals with similar music capabilities to humans in a quest to figure out how and when musical traits appeared in our species. They want to understand what separates a song from other sounds. Few researchers claim to have a definitive answer, but at the simplest level, they define a song as a sequence of tones which may be repeated over a period of time into something that resembles what we'd call a melody, explained Brian Farrell, a professor of biology at Harvard University. He devotes part of his research to studying animal sounds in the natural world. Whatever the scientific explanation is, this is for sure one dramatic animal. The Malaysian exploding ant. High in the treetops of Borneo is an ant with a deadly secret. It can explode. On the outside, this is just an inconspicuous brownish-red ant. It lacks large mandibles, cannot sting, and generally seems like an easy pick for any predator with a rumbling in the tummy. But when these ants feel threatened, they raise their rumps as a warning. Then, if the would-be attacker, a much larger weaver ant say, doesn't back off, one or more tiny ants bite down on it, angle their backsides close, and flex so hard that their abdomens burst at the seams. By tearing themselves apart, the ants sacrifice themselves to protect the rest of the colony. Exploding ants have been known to science for more than 100 years now, but they're very rare. And while committing suicide to protect the colony seems a little extreme, it may make sense in the grand scheme of things. There's a species of ants in Brazil that closes up its nests in the sand each night, presumably to prevent predators from finding the ants while they sleep. But in order to remove all traces of the nest above the surface, between 1 and 8 workers are left outside to seal up the entrance. Can you hang out all night for your folks? Or just burst your belly with anything other than snacks? Not me. Loud bug. The animal that makes this noise is smaller than the human hand. It's a cicada. Cicadas are a type of insect that live all over the world, and they're famous for the noises they make when it's hot outside. Its loudest song is almost 107 decibels when measured from 20 inches away. That's 110 decibels, almost as loud as a chainsaw. The cicada sounds are made to communicate with each other, find mates, and possibly drive away potential predators. When the cicada wants to make noise, they pull the ribs of their timbal fast, creating clicking sounds as each rib hits the next. It's a lot like hitting bendy straws. When you move the bendy bits really fast, they make such a noise. Cicadas pull the ribs on their timbals apart and click them back so quickly that each clicking sound runs into the next, creating a continuous loud noise. Can you hear each click in the cicada song? They're so fast that it becomes almost impossible to tell each click apart, not to mention painfully loud. The peacock. Peacocks are the male variety of peafowl, and they are no exception to the penchant for strange mating rituals. It comes as no surprise that a bird with such a beautiful set of tail feathers would shake them to attract a mate. This proves that humans are not all that different from the animal boys. Peacock tail feathers are not just big and boldly colored. They have actually developed tiny crystal-like structures spaced throughout the feathers that bend and reflect light in interesting ways, making the birds seem so vibrant and eye-catching. When these crystal-like structures get damp, they may appear to shine brighter, making them even more attractive to potential mates. While this may just be a convenient accident for peacocks, rather than the preferred several locations along his spine, and he also had to battle a bone infection. but he has come a long way since this hilarious photo was taken. Due to his sad look and his inspiring story, Ben has more than 38,000 followers on Instagram and more than 11,000 fans on Facebook. Crab's knife fight. This video of a knife-wielding crab is making waves across the internet. At first, it seems laughable, even endearing, and it's something you should see. In the YouTube clip, the creature is seen engaging in a sword fight. It seems the little crab handles the blade with ease, passing it between its pincers as it scuttles across a sink. When a human holding a much larger knife appears, the crab continues to back up, cornering itself against the sink and eventually dropping its weapon in an apparent surrender. Reportedly filmed in Malaysia, the title of the video translates to "Alone and wielding a knife, crab strives for his survival in the kitchen." The fate of the crab is likely sad. Nevertheless, the internet went wild for this creature, and that's just great. Some viewers were inspired by the crab to start fencing, but the truth is, the crab is probably being tormented by its human opponent before it's made dinner. It's definitely not normal crab behavior to use knives as tools or to use knives as a defense against humans. Just because the crab is able to smoothly switch the knife between pincers doesn't mean it is